Jimmy Horn down the sidelines, smoking it into the end zone.
Back with you, 89. James Palmer, Steve Smith Sr. with you, and we're back from hanging out in person, Steve, at the CU Showcase in Boulder. Got to take that in next to one another. So yes, make sure you watch the Travis Hunter breakdowns. We did 2 of them because he is that special and that rare as a player. But he wasn't the only receiver working out, Steve. It was fun for me to watch, all these guys work out next to you as you told me about footwork, told me about breaks, told me about releases, stems, everything. And it was fun to watch your interactions with Jimmy Horn Jr., who kind of took to your coaching a little bit during the pro day, actually. Like, he was kind of looking over your way, hey, straighten this up, do that. And by the end of the showcase, it seems like you kind of thought, this guy might be a player for somebody in Jimmy Horn Jr. What's your thought?
Well, I will say this, our great, fantastic producer, John, and there's been other people as well, so it's not just John, who assumed because his name is Jimmy Horn Jr., that he was kinfolk. His daddy was Joe Horn. No, wrong black guy. Just because they're black and the last name's Horn does not mean that he's the father, okay?
I've seen Joe Horn at a pro day. It was his son's pro day.
Yeah. J.C. Horn.
He was at that pro day.
Yes. But Jimmy Horn Jr., pretty impressed with him. And draft is only a couple of weeks away. So I can tell you right now, you seeing the breakdowns that we're doing, Jimmy Horn Jr. is in my top 15.
Ooh.
Why?
This is after the showcase. This is
after the
you
showcase.
Saw firsthand.
He's leapfrogged. He's moved up. Jimmy Horn Jr. did not get a lot of targets because the main focal point of that offense, especially with the bad offensive line play, was Travis Hunter. But Jimmy Horn is smooth, got some speed to him. He can run, he can catch, had quiet footwork, no false steps, rolled into his routes like you're supposed to run into your routes. His spacing between lead foot and back foot, ideal, no false movement. I was pretty impressed. Looking at his routes in person, moved up. He moved up big time for me.
I love that. And also what he did when you and I were standing there and you were predicting 40s, which was like a Rain Man type of thing, which was really impressive.
So what do you get?
Probably 4 or 5. Can we explain that to people? Because some people, I could do that. What's the big deal? And I'm watching them and calculating based off the speed, where they are in the middle, and are they accelerating or decelerating at the end. And so I was looking at the speed going, 4.4, 4.5. They had offensive linemen. First of all, everything was out. I'm talking about udders, gut, everything was out. But my man was moving.
He was.
Man,
he drew a big reaction from the crowd.
Bro, he was moving.
Finished.
He was probably 340.
You went over to him after he ran.
Yeah.
Like, way to move, big boy.
But he was about 340. He was running, man. The thing was hitting him in the chin. When he was running, I was impressed.
Oh, it was good. But you were predicting him off the sideline.
It was a few guys I was like, that was one I was like, about 4.62. Boom, 4.62.
It was on the nose. You did get one on the nose, which was great. And if you remember, Jimmy Horn Jr. runs which wasn't slow, 4.46 at the combine. The thing I like about him, because I asked around, like, he loves to compete.
Yeah, he does.
I'm running again. Again. And because he had a good combine, and a lot of people took notice in the drills that he went through, the gauntlet, things like that. And then he's like, oh no, I'm gonna run some more, and I'm gonna compete some more. And so he goes and drops his 40 to 4.4 flat.
That's big, because they take the best time. They take that. That's why they give those guys an opportunity to do it. They will take the best time. The worst time, they're not gonna put that down as your final grade. So you have opportunities to improve.
Certainly, and and look at what he did on your board. Ends up running routes at the showcase and goes up. Had probably the play. He had the play of the showcase.
Yeah, he had some
the deep
plays.
ball and the backflip afterwards.
Man, he had some plays.
He was moving. Now I have said some teams. Steve said smaller size, play smaller, but I also know that kind of contradicts a little bit. There, he doesn't play with a whole lot of fear at all from talking to teams. So he'll go over the middle. He'll do stuff, but he is on the smaller side. But kick return ability, special teams ability. With
the new rules too. You were telling me this too. With the new rules, tell people what you discovered.
With the new kickoff rule. I talked to 2 different GMs about this at the showcase, and with the new kickoff rule, with it sliding up to being returned to the 35 for a touchback, they're going to want more teams returning balls, which now guys in the middle rounds, which I'd say Jimmy Horn Jr. in a lot of teams' minds is a 4th, 5th round pick, maybe in that range in some people's minds. He might slide up a little bit due to the return ability and the explosive ability to help him, help his team in a variety of ways instead of just one phase and being part of that receiver group. I think also his willingness to develop, his willingness to sit and wait. He has that mentality of where he lands, he's going to work and doesn't, won't be one of those guys that, some guys, Steve, I'm not getting the ball early, shut down. No, wants to keep growing, keep learning. So what do we got? What do we got from Jimmy Horn Jr.? I want to see this because he can move.
He can move. Let's get knee deep in these play rats, y'all.
This episode of 89 is brought to you by BetterHelp. In football, you have a support system, right? Whether it's your coaches, your trainers, or your teammates to help you kind of succeed. But what about you? What about off the field and making yourself the best version of yourself? Well, BetterHelp can help you do that. I know oftentimes we're playing hero ball, right? We're going at it all by ourselves. We got to do it alone. But when you talk to a therapist, you have an opportunity to alleviate that. And we're not just talking about major trauma. We're talking about coping with a variety of things, whether it's relationship issues, just overall stress, just creating the best environment for you to be the best version of yourself. And BetterHelp can help you do that. Now, the best thing about it is BetterHelp is 100% online, so it is both affordable and convenient. With over 5 million people participating worldwide, well, you're in good hands. So, build your support system with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/89 and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/89.
So, Jimmy Horn Jr. down here at the bottom. It's a pretty good route. But I don't necessarily know. Doot. That's that naval guy, the naval guy again. Number 10. Look at this though. Look how he sets him up. I don't know what this corner thinking. These corners are awesome.
He just keeps running further and further away from you.
Sheesh. That's just ridiculous. That's just hanky-panky ridiculous. Against Colorado. Just a tough catch in traffic. Bye. Tough catch. Look at this. Hands catch too. Ooh, that boy's tough right there. Loves to compete.
Mm-hmm.
Like this adjustment to the ball.
Did I say something? Shedeur got popped on this play.
Man, Shedeur was under duress this whole season.
That was par for the course.
Goodness gracious. It's going to be interesting to watch Shedeur is how he handles actually when he has time to throw the ball in protection. I think that'll
freak out.
Yeah.
Somebody should be here right now.
Yeah. Hey, I'm used to being.
That's a good adjustment to the ball, huh, Steve?
Yes, that is. That was a great adjustment to the ball. In the slot, low underneath route. They ran a lot of underneath routes, but giving their guys an opportunity to show their speed. Boom. Watch this. Watch. Just showing that is because he can take a underneath thrown route and just go. Look at that. Ball's behind him a little bit.
Yeah. Keeps moving.
Catches it, gets back downhill, takes off. Like it.
Do we have a skill set that we like, something that he brings to the table?
I believe he can play both inside and outside. I think he has a tremendous high upside. It's just wherever a team sees where he can start off to play, and then where a team allows him to play is going to be pretty interesting. But wherever you get him, I think you're going to be pretty happy with his competitiveness, his willingness to fight for extra yards. He shows up to work with his lunch pail. I'm talking about old school, no Lunchable. You know, he got a sandwich. You know, he just got a sandwich in a Ziploc bag and some cheap chips.
PB&J.
That's what I'm talking about. So I like him, and he competes. So this is a kid who I felt was kind of like borderline how teams looked at him, and then you go and see him, and he checks that box, says, no, he has to move up. So for me, Jimmy Horn, he's moving up. He's in my top 15.
Whew, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I got to call out Daniel Jeremiah.
Oh.
Because you didn't have Tack McMillan, number one receiver, number one, and all of a sudden, Asian 89 starts doing the breakdown. 108,000 people have watched. And now, DJ, you got him as the fourth best wide receiver this year's draft. Somebody's been looking on my paper, and it is now the quarterback, the former quarterback at Appalachian State.
App State.
App State is looking on a brother's paper, the wide receiver. That's right, people. Daniel Jeremiah has cheated off my sheet.